r/ask Reddit. What fictional character should people really stop glorifying? The Joker. It's particularly cringy when people glorify the Joker/Harley Quinn relationship like it's some kind of love story. Well, it's love story but not healthy for sure. Christian Grey. It's just cause he's rich and handsome. It's romantic only because of that. Imagine the story but a broke ugly guy tries to get a girl to get into BDSM and does a bunch of stalking. 100% guaranteed it will be advertised as a horror movie. A poor guy also can't buy a company to be closer to his victim, so the second book is out. Madeline Wunsch. You might ask, if she's here who's guarding Hades? That fork-tongued lizard which turned out to be a Korean toilet ghost. Edit. Thanks for all the awards. Brooklyn 99 fans are the best and I'm loving all your comments. For those of you who haven't watched it yet, what are you waiting for? 99. Madeline, you've aged. My favorite Wunsch insult. Simple, yet so effective. Snape. He bullied a child so badly that he was a child's boggart, and that's just the tip of the iceberg when it came to being a bully or being unfair. I love him as a character. I respect the work that Rowling put in to make him a complex and deep character. Having said that, I do not like him as a person. He's greatly disturbed. I wouldn't call him full or evil per se. I would not call him good either. He's more of a really screwed up individual who was able to activate his moral compass before death. He's definitely a tragic character, but that's also his own fault. On the flip side, I wasn't a fan of James Potter either. He struck me as an egotistical bully. In his defense, he just wasn't a freak like Snape. Supposedly James grew up, but we never really see it. Dude from you. Edit. My first award. Thanks kind strangers. 3. I had to scroll while I too far for this. Penn Badgley is hot and a great actor, but Joe Goldberg is a ducking psycho who should not be romanticized. Even Penn Badgley in interviews is like, stop with the fangirling, he's literally a psychopathic killer. While I don't find him exceptionally attractive, good looking, but not my type, he is a phenomenal actor in that series. Effie from Skins. The show literally romanticized her mental health disorders. Her life was sad tbh, but it's ironic how it comes full circle to all the audience seeing as a pretty face, which is what you would have OTD project myself onto her BC. Our storylines are almost shitting identical, but her illness drug abuse should not be idolized, especially with the new Euphoria show. It's Skins all over again. Instead of appreciating the show for what it is, they're trying to become horrible and drugged up. Reality check. It's just plain sad. It's like what Cook's dad said that one episode, something along the lines of you're too pretty for your own good. That's why you destroy everything you love, because Effie is so visual stunning. People, both in show and the audience, tend to ignore her more troublesome qualities. Tony Montana. Like seriously, he had about the worst ending you could ask for. Woman shrugging. It's like people identify characters by who they were at the beginning of the story. Egg Scrooge is synonymous with stinginess, but actually he comes out of the story a very generous soul. He started his life out loving and generous, but trauma made him a miser. The book, film, whatever was about this journey. Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk. He broke into the giant's castle, stole all his shit, ran away, and when the giant tried to get his stuff back, he duck and murdered him. Wow, this has blown up, haha. Thanks for the awards. Dot. And then Jack chopped down the beanstalk, adding murder and ecological vandalism to the theft, enticement and trespass charges already mentioned. But he got away with it and lived happily ever after without so much as a guilty twinge about what he had done. Which proves that you can be excused just about anything if you're a hero, because no one asks inconvenient questions. Seems like you share something in common with a Miss Susan Stohelit. Walter White. Jesse is a far more sympathetic character. Beach. I mean, even Jesse isn't exactly Jesus. Trying to sell drugs to people in rehab, getting his friends hooked back on drugs after they stopped, cooking meth in the first place, etc. It just happens Walt is way worse, lol. Neither character should be glorified. I thought Patrick Bateman was cool as a teen and young adult, and now I'm an angry awkward weirdo. Edit. I meant from the movie, by the way. I haven't read the book. Thanks for the karma. I believe in taking care of myself and a balanced diet and rigorous exercise routine. In the morning if my face is a little puffy I'll put on an ice pack while doing stomach crunches. I can do 1000 now. After I remove the ice pack I use a deep pore cleanser lotion. In the shower I use a water activated gel cleanser, then a honey almond body scrub, and on the face an exfoliating gel scrub. Then I apply a herb mint facial mask which I'll leave on for 10 minutes while I prepare the rest of my routine. I always use an aftershave lotion with little or no alcohol, because alcohol dries your face out and makes you look older. Then moisturizer, then an anti-aging eye balm followed by a final moisturizing protective lotion. This guy predicted YouTube skincare tutorials. JD, Heathers. Greetings and salutations. Our love is God. Let's go get a slushy. Edward Cullen. Jacob. 2. They're both creepy and possessive. Which ended up with Jacob deciding if it can't have her, her daughter will do. I was like WTF. The blonde ghost school shooter guy from the first season of Ours. Tate Langdon. Yes, him. I remember being in high school and some very young girls were romanticizing some very dark stuff about him. For those that love The Notebook, Noah threatened to kill himself if she didn't go on a date with him. Nope. Why do people find this movie romantic? It's romantic how he reads her memories during their old age because of her amnesia. But when they were younger, they were toxic as duckle mayo. Whoever that guy is from the musical Grease, total a-hole. Sandy should have left him. His character and the relationship he has with Sandy make a lot more sense when you realize that Grease is a parody of high school stories from that time. Yep, it's one of those movies that got big enough for people to miss the point. Same with Saturday Night Fever. It's remembered as a glorification of disco when it's more about how the protagonist tries to hide how ducked up his life is behind the artificial glamour of the disco scene. The Peaky Blinders. I recently watched the show and I just don't understand why every guy wants to be like them. They are all horrible people who destroy everything they touch. They also all have horrible PTSD from World War I. I think that's what makes Michael more unlikable. The others were already ducked up. Jerry from Tom and Jerry. He gets amused by watching a starving cat struggle to catch him and straight up torments Tom. I like the theory that they're really friends. Tom just has to pretend to try to catch him so his owner keeps him around. It's more like they both really enjoy doing it. Like, sure, Tom is getting really hurt all the time, but look at the guy. He loves the hunt. Also, I always feel like we're supposed to root for Tom. Jerry is the antagonist. I always cheered for Tom as a kid, and seeing him succeed in even small ways is always great. Luke Castellan. He is not a tragedy. Other characters had it just as bad as him, if not worse, and didn't turn evil or try to kill innocent people, including the one he loves. Edit. Guys, I was mainly referring to his actual behavior and personality, not necessarily his beliefs or reasoning. Edit 2. Thanks for the reward lol. The way I see it, he's 100% correct that the gods are dongs. The problem is we don't see anything that says the Titans would be any better. Not only that lol, it's explicitly stated multiple times that Titans would destroy literally everything about human civilization. Luke noticed Olympus doesn't have a proper childcare package and decided the best course of action to fix that was join deity ISIS and kill everyone on Earth. Ronald McDonald. I know, clearly Dennis is the one to idolize. He's a 5-star man. The Golden God. I think nobody talks about how much of an a-hole Mrs. Doubtfire really is. I mean, this man inserted himself into the life of a woman who wants nothing to do with him, spies on her and attempted to kill her new boyfriend. I mean, come on. It's like that one TV channel that edited scenes from Mrs. Doubtfire with scary music to make it look like a horror movie. The real problem with him was he made the mom a villain because he was the fun one, but he didn't take responsibility of his actions. Both parents need to be the good cop bad cop. Lots of anime characters. My ex really liked Himiko Toga and like, she's awful. I'm almost caught up and there hasn't been anything you should like. Plenty of the villains are morally grey or at least somewhat empathizable, but she's just simply evil. She also straight up sexually harassed Deku. Ducking Light. I get scared that so many seem to think that his actions are okay because he usually targets criminals. He is power hungry and uses his code as some sort of excuse to get that power. He also bends and breaks that code multiple times. That and she's also inexplicably overpowered. Her only superhuman ability is that she can transform into the person whose blood she consumes. Yet she moves like faster than the eye can see on a regular basis. Ramona Flowers. On that note, Scott Pilgrim. They are both equally horrible people made for each other. This is the main reason that I prefer the comics over the movie of Scott Pilgrim. Though the movie is great, by the end of the series both Ramona and Scott recognize that they're pretty shitty people but have made some kind of commitment to trying to get better together, whereas the movie doesn't really go that far. Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore. He manipulated and used people, even little children, especially poor Harry, left him in an abusive home for the greater good. Even after that didn't tell the kid what the hell was happening in his life. Knew how Snape treated the students yet never took any action because he was useful to him. Edit. Thanks guys. It is very interesting to see everyone's perspective no matter we agree with each other or not. I'm just still mad about it. Edit 2. Thanks for the award P.S. Remove the point about Sirius. In my personal theory it was just hard to believe that a man like Dumbledore didn't dig further. He runs a school with an easily unlockable door with a 20-foot tall murder hound behind it. AMD gave the same amount of warning you would if there was a minor spill. Draco Malfoy. He's sorta good looking but I really don't get why people like him so much. He's kind of a little shit. That kid is not a good person. He is well written enough that you can sympathize with him in the later books. But he should definitely not be looked up to as a role model. He was a bit of a bully but look at what he grew up around. He was raised to be that little shit and to loathe Potter. His character turned around for the better. Dr. House. The dude is a complete a-hole to everybody all the time and people look up to him. WTF. I love House. But yeah, he is a dong. Couldn't stop watching his train wreck life with the on again off again enabler Cutty. Open bracket. I dunno how you spell her name. Berlin from Money Heist. Even though it's so hard to, in the show he raped a poor girl by taking advantage of her fear. Even though he died after the second season they keep milking the character and have a spin-off based on him. I mean everyone from the gang, and the police as well, is an a-hole. Romeo and Juliet. Don Draper. Do people idolize Draper? Watching the series I just got the impression that man was just a selfish mess who kept blowing up his own life for no real reason. There's a difference from being a bad character and being a bad person. Most of the ones on this list are incredible characters but terrible people, and I don't really think they're glorified. They're just liked because they're incredibly interesting. Thank you. The most interesting characters are typically the most flawed. Liking them doesn't equal condoning their actions IRL. I don't know anyone who actually thinks that Tony Soprano or Walter White are admirable people, but they are beloved characters because they are compelling. Even finding aspects of a character cool doesn't mean idolizing them or their deplorable actions. I can't imagine how boring fiction would be if we limited ourselves to morally sound characters. It pains me to say this, because I like her, but Miss Piggy, she's vain, manipulative, and physically assaults others, even though she claims to love. The writers also put her on the receiving end of lots of fat jokes, which is simply appalling. Kids are watching this stuff. FFS. Miss Piggy definitely was created as a fat joke. If they don't lean into it then she'll no longer be a truly relevant character. Also, the jokes are a good segue into her beating the shit out of them. Edit. Spelling. The Joker. He's a literal monster, and too many people think he's hot shit. The Joker. More specifically his relationship with Harley Quinn. Do I even need to explain? Every hot villain that is abusive, controlling, psychotic and is there to portray the worst in a person. The Joker. Especially the latest iteration of him. He is a mentally unstable man from a background of severe mental abuse and trauma who eventually has a mental breakdown so severe it leads him to commit crime, murder and fight a billionaire dressed as a bat. It's okay to like him as a villain, but he isn't meant to be idolized or should be used for your edgy inspirational quotes on Facebook. The Punisher. Even the creator of The Punisher has come out to specifically say that he is just a serial killer. He kills bad people, yes, but he's still a serial killer, and cops should definitely not be using him as a role model. Hell, The Punisher himself hates that cops idolize him. In his own words, kinda. Don't remember the whole speech. You want a role model. You've got Captain America. I'm the result of your failures as a system, not the status quo for how you should do your job. Gordon Gekko, Wall Street. Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street. They are supposed to be cautionary tales of what not to do. Harley Quinn. Hisoka, he is a pedophile. Stop trying to justify it or explain it away. He is a disgusting, awful character and you shouldn't like him. CW's The Flash. Popular show, but one of the sorriest excuses for a superhero ever. Agreed. For a dude who can supposedly do genius science with the best of them, he sure makes a lot of dumb choices. Peter Griffin. Worst father in fiction. Eren Yeager. Rorschach. I feel sorry for people who named their kids Khaleesi after the mass genocide. Bojack Horseman. I find it hard to imagine how people could glorify Bojack. He's a total wreck of a person. At no point does he seem to have his life entirely on track. 90% of the time he's outright depressed. Who are these strange people who think he has anything worth glorifying? Tyler Durden. He's a misogynistic, controlling, manipulative sociopath. Severus Snape. He's just an incel who torments children. Duck him. Mr. Peanut Butter TBH. Anakin Skywalker. Someone once posted a fan image portraying the mutilated corpses of the kids he killed and a lot of people got triggered because their idol was in fact a monster. The whole concept of the dark side making you do things is bullshit considering he had plenty agency of his own. Hannibal. People seem to romanticize his little fancy traits. Barney Stinson from him. Lily Aldrin is the other side of the same coin. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.